This is a very special conversation on NDTV with Dr. Salman Akhtar, who's a world-renowned psychiatrist, author of 113 books, someone who has seen US politics for over 50 years, and someone who also writes on a variety of issues. Thank you so much, Dr. Akhtar, for speaking to NDTV. I'm going to come to your book that you've written in just a bit, but let me start by asking you that we're in Pennsylvania, a state that is considered to be pretty much decisive when it comes to the US election results. How do you view the election right now, the issues on which the Indian Americans are set to vote, and most importantly, the American politics right now as it stands?
Let me answer your comment or respond to it in reverse order. One, about the current American politics. I've been in this country now 51 years, and I've never seen and never experienced this country as so divided socially, politically, and such. The country is actually really, really divided, and very strongly in terms of ideology, in terms of feelings, in terms of sense of identity, belonging, philosophy of life, attitude towards minorities, etc., etc. So it's a very strongly emotional election. All elections are emotional. All elections are fundamentally divisive because they say elect A or elect B.
Right.
But those divisions are ideational. Now the divisions are powerfully emotional and almost vitriolic and potentially violent. So it's a very, very powerful and significant moment in American politics.
There hasn't been any violence till now, though there are expectations that the result may coincide with some acts of it. I will come to that in a bit. But first, in terms of the Indian American community, you are one of the strongest members of that, very illustrious member of the community. How has it shaped up in the last couple of years? They've grown significantly. They've doubled in the last 10 odd years. They are powerful in all metrics, economically, socially. Politically, are they getting the voice that they've been wanting to for some time? Are they now part of the political representation that the Indian American community has been seeking for some time?
I think the answer is unfortunately a little complex. One is that when we say Indian American community, we are being a little wishful in viewing that community as a homogeneous. The fact is, even within Indian American community, there are cracks. Cracks, for instance, between Sikhs and non-Sikhs.
Right.
There have been incidences that we don't necessarily need to get into in Canada, in the United States, and in the history in the last 20, 30, 40 years, which have caused a very subtle but painful crack between Sikhs and Hindus. Of course, the Muslims and Hindus from old time, their partition, etc. So there are all kind of cracks in there. Plus, also, whether even within the Hindu community, a relatively moderate, secular, liberal, left-leaning Hindu community versus a Hindutva community. So that what we call Indian community has Sikh community, Muslims who are Indian, really from the heart, Muslims who may have other kinds of empathies and sympathies.
Okay.
And then Sikhs who are in some ways broken-hearted and suspect and also angry and resigned. So that we have a collage and a mosaic of Indian community.
Yes.
On one hand, is quite splintered. On the other hand, because the immigration in this country was tilted towards the educated,
yes,
and the potentially affluent or the affluent to be.
Yeah.
Therefore, one thing that binds them together is money. Most Indian people are more affluent than other ethnic groups.
Yeah.
And a quality that they share with the Chinese, I think, and with the Jews of hard work, industry, value of education,
yes,
family cohesion. In that way, Indian community can be seen as one.
Yeah.
In some ways not as one, in some ways as one.
Yeah.
In the latter issue, I think unfortunately or understandably, the interest that drives this whole country anyway, and I think this side of the Indian interest is money and taxes and revenues and such. And in that way, they might lean one way where they feel that it's going to be more advantageous financially for them.